Okay, we're live. Welcome, everybody. We're live. Welcome to Taylor and Andy talking about whatever the fuck they feel like talking about. I have no plan for this, obviously, and I know neither do you, but I thought it might be fun to kind of just hang out, talk, and see whatever the hell
Yeah,
happens with no expectations. So, how have you been?
I've been pretty excited about this thing that I don't know if you want to talk about, but I've been excited about that.
We can talk about that, but like, let's not talk about that. So, anyone who's listening to this right now feels like they're listening to a private conversation. But yeah, man, no, I want to talk about this thing. Okay, so
Maybe
for everyone listening,
maybe you just
do you want
want
to
to
drop
hint
hints?
at it
Yeah.
tantalizingly.
Okay. So for everyone listening, how many times have you guys and girls reached out to me for coaching or asked me for help or left a YouTube comment? And I can kind of help you a little bit in the comment, but like not as much as I could if you're a coaching client of mine. And how many of you have said, and you say this in a nice way, bro, your coaching is expensive as fuck. I can't afford that. I'm a university student, or I'm in my 20s, or I'm between jobs, or I got kids, or whatever. $11,000, man, is insane. I love you, Andy. It's great that you charge that, but I'm jealous I miss out. And so Taylor and I, with a little bit of help from Cam and some friends like Ravi and other people, are in the process of setting up something that would be naughty to talk about right now. And that's why we're being very naughty boys. But you and I are so excited, dude. We've sent so many voice messages to each other. I just got off a 3-hour phone call with Ravi. I haven't even told you everything he talked to me about on that call yet. So, like, we're in the process, everybody, of setting something up that I think will, like, I mean, you said it best, Taylor, will hopefully, like, over deliver,
Mhm.
but it'll be affordable for all of you and you'll be able to actually afford this one. It won't be like, hi, can I please have $11,000? And you're like, where the fuck am I going to get the cash, man? You sound like the mafia. So this will be like the anti-mafia coaching. No mafia, like break your legs unless you pay this off sort of thing. So I'm excited, dude. I'm fucking excited, man. Damn.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. As I said, I've been sleeping less because I'm just waking up and fucking thinking of ideas and being excited. So, yeah, and maybe we'll leave it at that.
We're making another coaching program, everybody. There you go. Was that subtle?
I think you're gonna have a lot of people curious about that. That still leaves a lot to be further disclosed. So,
No, I'm excited about this. Like, I mean, we can start talking about it. Why not? Like, let's talk about it. Anyone that's listening. I think one of the main benefits of the current coaching program that we have is like you're paying such an obscene amount of money to be there that it feels like you really commit. But a lot of you
mhm.
listening are not ready for that commitment. And I think if I'm very honest, for a long time, okay, so for the first couple of years, I judged a lot of you, which sounds insane. It sounds insane to say that, but it was the only way I could rationalize it in my mind. I was like, well, if they don't sign up for this big 11,000, and it didn't used to be that much, it used to be like $2,000. If they're
Mhm.
not willing to drop $2,000, then they're not serious about their life and blah blah blah. And I just got that from a bunch of like salespeople and all of that. And they say, you know, you got to believe in your product, and if someone doesn't want it, then they're the problem. But at some point, I think, like pretty recently, that's obviously like such an obscene thought to say if someone doesn't have the money, then they mustn't be serious. Because like I've spent money on coaching programs, but most of what I did on the Good Looking Loser forums was free.
Mhm.
And some of our best, some of like you in the community, the biggest achievements that you've had are people that just follow the channel and go do something crazy, or friends that like you, Taylor, have influenced, friends that I've given a bit of advice to, and then they just run with it. So yeah, I think I definitely had a bit of like a ego or a defensiveness there for a while about my coaching program and the price that it was. So this feels like a way to serve people a little better that doesn't come from like ego, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, and also you've had, so many people that have been had immense success in your coaching program, but a lot of the amazing success stories or like there are several amazing success stories from when you were doing the coaching early on and it was very affordable. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, not everyone is to the point that they want to take that huge of a plunge and drop that much money. Some people are. I was like, I was.
Yeah, but you're
I just,
almost one of the insane ones. That's like rare and
yeah,
insane.
but like, there's an alternate reality where I just started like 4 years sooner, you know.
Mm.
But then there was those 4 years where I like tried other things and didn't feel good and didn't feel good and pushed to the brink where now I'm like ready to jump off the cliff and just like I don't even give a fuck. Like here's my $10,000. But like 4 years sooner, I would have been like happy to start on that journey. I just wasn't to the point where I wanted to jump off a cliff yet, you know?
Yeah, and that's something that you and Ravi and Cam and Imi and my business coach and like 10 other people have told me. And they're like, look, your coaching program seems like it helps people. That's nice. That's great. Good job. But there's so many people that you're not serving right now. Like so many of you that, like I said, I get tons of you that email me and say, like, can I join the coaching program for a cheaper amount? Would you be willing to lower the price? And it's like, well, that wouldn't massively really be fair to the people that have paid a full price. So that's my main reason to say no. Otherwise, I'd just be like, sure, man, you can have it for half price. But this is like a way to get in there and say, like, okay, like you have something, or we have something for you that you can actually afford. So I'm excited. Maybe let's like talk about something different because like I want to wait till we've set a little bit more of it up. I guess
Yeah,
on that note, if any of you are listening and you're interested, you're very welcome to like shoot me an email and you can be one of the first people in. I'll give you a discount, like because you're an early adopter. But yeah, maybe let's talk about
cool.
whatever the hell we want to talk about. But I am excited about the coaching that we're setting up,
Yeah.
like
And
insanely so.
yeah, one of the funny things about your coaching is that like from the outside looking in, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. From the outside looking in, it's not clear just how much love and especially time, like your time, you Andy, you put into the people that have joined your coaching program. Like it's
It's hard to get
like
that across. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to get that across. And you can say that you know, you pour all your love and record people like 45-minute voice notes, but it's hard to get that across what that actually feels like to receive and to have someone care about you that much.
Oh, I know. You and I have talked about this.
Mhm.
I recently, so it's only really recently that I've started letting more people help me because
Mhm.
I went a couple of years there where I just put my head down, like almost monk mode with the business and the coaching and the content and all of this stuff that I've been doing. And I was like, I'm just going to do it all myself. And that's like obviously way harder. And then as soon as I reached out to you and Ravi and Cam and like three of my other friends and said, okay, guys, can you guys please help me? Because I've tried to do this coaching shit on my own and I've built it this far. But I think to get to the next level and more to the point to be happier, I'm going to have to let people help me, which is what I tell everyone else to do, right? And you sent me a couple of voice messages, a few other friends did. And I said to you in a voice message, bro, is this what coaching feels like? Like, is this what having someone really? And I have some coaches, so I already know what it feels like. But like, I've been overwhelmed by the support over the last 2 weeks as I've let people help me, especially like going through the breakup that I'm going through. And maybe we'll talk about that in a second. But like, just letting people be there for me, I'm like, holy shit, this is what it must feel like to be like a coaching client. It's like
Yeah.
you feel loved and supported. So it's been nice, bro. Like, it's these
Yeah, is
lessons
that
that we
would
almost
you
need
say
to
that's
relearn.
like the last 2 weeks that's been a shift for you? Or
Three
like
weeks,
3,
yeah.
1 month?
Last three
Yeah,
weeks, yeah.
so like what's the how do you like feel differently before and after that shift?
I feel loved, bro. Okay, let's so and I was loved before. Like, let's be clear.
Well,
You
that's
were
kind of
there
the
for
point.
me.
That's kind of the point is that you changed, like,
Nothing
the people
changed. Yeah, I know.
loving you didn't change.
I just, bro, and like, what did we just talk about? Like, what, 2 days ago with one of our coaching clients, we did like, not really an intervention, but I'm going to joke and say it was an intervention where we're basically just like, dude, I won't say his name, but dude, will you just let people help you, please? You feel so alone. You're going out there talking to like 5 or 10 women a day. You feel so lonely. You're struggling so much. We all want to be there for you, but you're like Mr. Bravado. You know, you button your shirt up and you're like, I'm going to do this by myself. And it's like, that's amazing. You've done such a good job. You've proven that you're really good at doing it by yourself. You're a god at doing it by yourself. Now let us help you and you'll get 10 times more done. And so it's like that. There's this thing called the Solomon paradox where we're very good at giving advice to other people. And then when it's us, we're like, yeah, but I'm busy or
I'm
I can just
different.
do it myself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm different. I'm special. I'm unique. And so, guys, I am as much of a, I won't say victim, but like I fall into this trap just as much as any of you, where I'm like, I can do it by myself. I'm a big, strong boy. Okay. I put my
Mhm.
pants on by myself. I tie my own shoelaces and I'm going to go through hardship by myself. And so, like, you asked, how did it feel different like 3 weeks ago compared to now?
Yeah.
It feels like I'm loved now. It feels way easier. I've gotten 10,000 times more done every day. Feels like I'm not doing anything anymore. Like you have done so much for me in the last couple of weeks. Emmy has as well, even though we're going through a fucking breakup. Ravi, my friend, has just done insane amounts of shit. Cam has been there for me more because now I listen to him and I take
Mhm.
his advice. And so now he's giving even more advice. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
listen to you. So,
more fun to help people that want that help and appreciate it, isn't
oh,
it?
yeah. Bro, I sent Cam this long voice message and I was like, Cam, listen, buddy. I know I haven't always listened to your advice for the last couple of years. And every time you give a suggestion, not every time, but like lots of times you give a suggestion, my stubbornness will jump in and I'll be like, I got this, Cam. And I'm not like the guy who'll be like, shut up, don't talk to me. But it's more subtle. So it's almost more nefarious. I'm like, hey, I really respect that, my friend. I really love you giving me advice. Thank you so much. I'll think about that and I'll take that on board. And then you just don't do anything with it because you're like, it's fine. I'm going to do it. And so it's almost like it would have been, I won't say better, but at least he could have helped more if I was just a headstrong dick. If I was like, "Fuck you, Cam, you don't know what you're talking about," then he'd be like, "Well, fuck you, you ginger bitch, you don't know what you're talking about," and then maybe we get somewhere. So it's this sort of
Yeah.
like almost like spiritual ego. Can I call it that? Where you're like, Namaste. I respect your advice. Thank you for your advice. And then you just ignore it. You're like, my ego is going to protect itself, but I'm going to pretend that I'm listening to you. So I definitely still have elements of that. In fact, someone
Yeah.
wrote a comment on my most recent video saying basically that. And it's like, yeah, you're probably not wrong, brother. Like, you're probably right to some extent. Yeah.
Spiritual ego is definitely a thing, isn't it?
Bro.
Yeah, that on the note of like it's more fun to help people that want that help and like want to receive it. I had kind of sensed that what or you dropped some hints that everything you just said that went down with your relationship with Cam, that like he was trying to help you and you were maybe resisting a little bit. And so do you remember how I asked you? I was like, what percent are you open to input? Like it's okay if it's like, 80% not open to it, 20% open to it. Like that's okay. I'm just curious, like what percent are you open to it? And you were like, anything you have, like I'll listen. And then I was like, okay, bitch. I just sent you like a full typed up 1-page document. I was like, okay, you're open to it. Here
That
you
was
go.
good though. Everything you wrote was like amazing. I already implemented like two things that you said like immediately within like 3 hours. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I appreciate
actually
that.
kind of floored me. I was like, oh,
Do you
he
know who
means
it
it.
flawed? So for everyone listening, I guess I'll announce it here. I put the prices up of all my video courses, which is something that everyone's been telling me to do forever, especially Cam. Like Cam and I had like, I won't say arguments, but like close enough as we're ever going to get to arguments where he's like, well, Andy, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you letting people buy this for $1, man? Like, come on, dude. Like, especially because he made a video course and a book, or he made a book for me for like to sell.
Mm.
And then I was like, all right, we're going to sell this for $1. And he's like, I don't want to make it if you're going to sell it for $1, man. I'm making this for you. You're going to pay me up front, which is what I did. And then hopefully you're going to make that money back. That's going to be
Mhm.
really hard at $1, dude. You're going to have to sell like 1 or 2 thousand copies. And I was like, it's okay, Cam. Like, I love the audience. I don't want to rip them off and charge them too much money and all of that. He's like, you're not charging them money. You charge them like $10. You're not ripping them off. And like you said, and I'll say this as an announcement. If any of you can't afford any of the video courses that I have, just tell me. I'll give it to you for cheaper. Like, there you go. That solves the problem. If there's some guy in a third world country who can't afford the play to win video course, then he can just email me and say, I can't afford it. Can I have a copy? And I'll be like, yeah, bro, like, how much can you afford? But that again is that sort of like, I don't know, just maybe not taking on feedback
I
or
understood absolutely like what you were doing. Like you made it pretty clear to your audience, I think, that, where your heart was at with that. It was like, how much would it mean for you to release like this magnum opus, which is kind of what your play to win video course is for you? It's like the accumulation of everything you've learned up to that point. What if I like poured my heart and soul into this beautiful thing and then like try to put it out there for $1 so that if someone is struggling and they can't afford, $50, like it's
Mm.
there for them. Like it was kind of you're giving back. So I totally understand your heart with it and why you didn't want to. And yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons that I look up to you. But yeah, the fact that you resisted upping the price for so long and then you like took that feedback, I was like, wow, I know that that means a lot for you to up those prices. Like you did not want to do that for a long time. That was like a huge thing for you.
That, and there's been a few of these things. Do you know what else I really struggled with? And I think this is a pretty normal thing. Let's talk a little bit about the, breakup. I'm going through a breakup with Emmy. Technically, we broke up like 5 days ago now. Now,
Yeah.
all of you only just watched the video right now as we recorded it because I recorded it, 5 days ago.
Mm.
But man, one of the things I was really scared of is like, how do I tell the audience? And so,
Yeah.
like, if we ever break up, and I worried about this years ago. I used to worry. I'm sure
Mhm.
this is a pretty normal fear. Like, we were together. We were right in the middle of the relationship. It's easy to say that now because I know exactly where the middle of the relationship is. But 3 years ago, right in the exact middle of the relationship of the 7-year relationship that we had, and I would be afraid, man. I was like, and that would permeate like arguments that we had. Like, we haven't
Mhm.
really had much of an argument in the last year or two, maybe the last 2 years. But before that, we used to argue all the time, like a lot. And in the middle of those arguments, it was coming from that fear of like, if this doesn't work, what will the audience think? How do
Yeah,
I tell them that we've built this
because you'd
business
been
together? What does that mean?
so public with it all.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
imagine that like the amount of stress that like a celebrity or something must feel.
Mhm.
I'm not a celebrity, no fucking shit. But like, damn, man, like I felt
Wait, wait,
pressure of
wait.
like, we
Didn't
have to
you
make this work.
haven't you met at least one person in real life who recognized you? So
That
you can't
doesn't count. I've
say
met
that
two people
anymore.
in real
You're a
life that
Z-list.
recognized me.
You're a Z-list
Z-list, a
celebrity.
Z-list, a Z-list. Everyone in the comments, can you let us know, how does this ranking work? Like, how many people have to recognize you in public unprompted and they come up to you and say hello before you count as like a fucking like E-list celebrity? In my mind, I'm like, if you get recognized 100 times in public, that's an E-lister. And then there's like D-list is maybe like 1,000 times. C-list is like you get recognized, once a week, twice a week, 5 times a week. B-list is just like, your famous people. A-list is like your Elon Musks, your Mr. Beast, Leonardo DiCaprio, those people. So like if we're at Z, that's impressive. Not that I really want to necessarily get famous, but like I'm on the fucking list, baby. I'm in the alphabet.
So, Andy, you were in the middle of a thing here.
Yeah, but now I forgot what
Imogen,
we were gonna say.
halfway through, you're scared. You're scared of like what will the
Scared.
audience, what will that is permeating your relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, all the time. Like a lot. And it would affect like it was just a pressure thing. And so I did a podcast years ago where I basically said we don't have to fix our partners, and it was aimed
Mhm.
more at men because I think we men like to try and fix women's emotions even when they're just like, I'm sad, I cry sometimes, it's called being a woman, and we're like, this needs to be fixed, it's not healthy for her to be sad. And you're like, bro, come on, stop trying to fucking fix it and just let it exist. But it would come through in those sort of ways. I felt this pressure to be the guy that has a perfect relationship. And I'd say I let go of like 90% of that, especially towards the end. But it was also still always there, just like that little bit of like, come on, man, you got to try harder than a normal relationship would.
And did you feel like as the years that you were together went on, like you were more of an authority on relationships, or like you felt better in yourself giving advice to people on relationships because you're like, look, proof.
Yeah. And so I think what helped, so yes,
So you're gonna
I
wait
felt
like
like
6 years before you talk about relationships again.
I walked into that. Okay, this is your favorite fucking thing to do. And I love when you do it. Cam does the same shit. Cam has had this conversation with me so many times. Fine. Fuck you, Taylor. You win. I love you. Yes, Andy, I'm willing to put my hand up and say I usually wait like 5 or 6 years before I say, okay, I know enough about this topic to
Mm.
now start talking about it. I think I waited, God, it was when we moved to Brisbane. I know you wouldn't know when that was. That was like 2.5 years ago. So when is 2.5? So yeah, I waited like roughly 5 years into the relationship before I was like, okay, I think we can do some content on relationships now. Yeah, how long did I wait before I started talking about like sex and stuff? I think I'd already had my second threesome. No, before that. But I was already starting to like get close to threesomes before I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I think I can teach people how to have sex. Yeah. I think that's
Mhm.
just been an always thing. And hey, you do the same thing.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
we
That's how I
all
get the heat off me.
we all do. I mean, yeah,
I think that's a very like normal thing though. I think a lot of people feel like a fraud until they've like
yeah,
massively overachieved in a topic. And then they're like, wow, now I've made it. And it's like, bro, you made it like a year and a half ago.
yeah. There does seem to be a significant lag there. I mean, yeah, it was probably like my third threesome where I said that I'm just Mr. Sex. Like I'm good at sex. Like I am sex. That's what I said.
And like, that is so far past the point of what most people would say is like, wow, that's a pretty successful sex life you've built for
Mhm.
yourself. Like, was it with the same two women too? Or was it with separate women? Like the
It
threesome?
was, I think, when I had my second one with Natasha. That was when it was. I don't know. Like I have just been pointing this out over and over to one of our coaching clients because he's asking me like, when do I get to say that I'm doing good with women? And I'm like, there's no magic destination like written down in a book somewhere. Like it's gonna be whenever you decide it is. That's how it is.
Yeah. Dude, I just had this conversation with Ravi, with my friend Ravi,
Hmm.
and he was talking about like healing healing past trauma and like
Yeah.
being healthier and happier and more spiritual and all of that. And same thing, he was basically saying, I want to really heal my trauma and be open to abundance of money. You know, he has a lot of stories around money and hesitation, same as I do, a lot of blockages to earning more money. And I said to him, motherfucker, like at what point do you need to get to before you can say, I've healed a hell of a lot of my trauma? Like, for those of you who don't know Ravi very well, he was one of my old coaching clients. At this point, he basically talks about love and like peace and let's
Mhm.
help other brothers. And like, that's just how he talks. He's become this mega spiritual hippie and he's
Yeah,
so
he's like a
loving towards
vessel
him.
for love, and it's like he still isn't.
He still is like, it's
Mhm.
not that he says I'm not good enough. It's just in his mind, he's like looking so far towards the future that
Mhm.
sometimes we forget to stop. And so we kind of sat in that for a little bit today on our phone call. I was like, brother, what if we just sit here right now in this feeling of like, I've done enough. And yes, I'm going to do more in the future. But what if this feeling right now, this place that we're sitting in, what if this is the destination? And what if when we get to a further destination in the future, what if that just feels exactly like this? Like, why would that feel special? You've glamorized it and said, when I give up all of my trauma, then I'll somehow be happy and perfect and beautiful and everything will be sunshine and rainbows. It's like, what if that moment's right now? Because
Mhm.
past you from 5 years ago would have fucking killed to be this person right now. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Like, and so we just sat in that for like 5 or 10 minutes. It was nice. And that's like a lesson I'm still learning too is like, man, past you would murder to be you. Like straight up past you would be like, damn, bro, like I didn't predict that you'd be like this. I don't think you would have predicted your current version. I wouldn't have predicted mine. And we
Yeah.
lose sight of that sometimes because we're so focused on the future, which is not a bad thing.
I think, yeah, the more times it happens, like it does seem like we all catch on, but just like very slowly, like another 1% each time we kind of catch on, and we're like, okay, I could have like a little more faith, and like even if I don't necessarily believe that I've made it, I can like kind of act like I've made it and like go out on a limb that much more and act with like that much more faith that it's all okay, you know?
Yeah, that's all this is, man. That's all self improvement is. It's giving ourselves trust.
Hmm.
I feel like we're building trust with ourselves, trust with our mentors. Like for any of you new to the channel, you don't trust me yet. You shouldn't. Like that would be fucking stupid. Maybe you're an optimistic, trusting person. Fine. So like, but most of you won't. You won't trust me. You won't trust Taylor. Like you, Taylor, haven't come on the channel a lot.
Mhm.
And so if someone was to come to the coaching group, there's almost like a period of trust building with you because they don't fully know you. They're like, is this Taylor guy going to call me a pussy if I tell him I didn't talk to a woman today? Is Taylor going to yell at me and tell me I'm being too negative if I complain and share my feelings? Like, there's a bit of
And
trust that needs to be built with self improvement.
with the atmosphere of the group too, I certainly felt that having been like one of your past coaching clients. I was like,
That
yeah, are
hesitation.
they
Yeah,
gonna like
I
yell
get
at me and call me a bitch if I don't go hard enough? I kind of thought that that was going to be the vibe. By the way, it's like the complete opposite. It's like the most safe space.
Bro, were you there with a he's okay with me saying his name because it came on my channel. Were you there when Keaton was a
Yeah,
student? Okay. Do you remember what Keaton? So for everyone listening,
yeah, I remember.
Keaton has his own channel called Intellectual Muscle, and he's this like bodybuilder guy. He coaches other people. I love Keaton to bits. Like
Yeah,
Keaton is just such a fucking beautiful human, but he's also like very, very hyper masculine, and
he
that's a
is.
beautiful thing.
Mhm.
When he first came to the coaching, he literally said, I want all of you to call me a fucking pussy if I ever don't take action. I want you to literally tell me that I'm being a pussy. And I was like,
Yeah,
my brother, we're not going to do that. And he's like, no, but this is what I want. And I was like, okay, but like basically, I don't consent to that. Like you're asking me to
yeah.
fulfill your kink
We're playing
of being
coaching
bullied. And
BDSM, and we don't
yeah,
consent to
bro,
that.
bro, it's straight up like BDSM. Like some
It's like a
people do
game.
come to
Yeah.
coaching, yeah, they're like, I want to be fucking whipped, man. I want you to just spank my fucking ass and tell me I'm a bad boy if I didn't go and talk to that girl. Like, if I ever have a day where I lay on the couch for like an hour because I'm exhausted and tired or something, I want you to scream at me, David Goggins style. And he's not
Mhm.
always like that, but scream at me and be like, "You fucking bitch! Like, you got to make the like that's a kink." At that
Mhm.
point, that like, aren't we just talking about a kink? Like, do you want me to fucking rub your dick while I do it? Like, we're getting into kink territory and I don't consent to that kink. I understand why you're into it. No shame, brother. But like, that doesn't do it for me. My kink is like you getting the results that you want. And the way you'll get the results is like with compassion, with pushing in a loving way, with being there for you, with helping you do it. Like if you need me to to scream at you like almost a kink and be like, come on, pussy, like what do you do when I'm not there to scream at you? Nothing. You can't take action without some external like force almost. And so I'd rather figure out a way to teach you how to do it yourself. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's just like a separate discussion. I think a lot of people come to these communities because look. Like I'm a bold guy. I have fucking tattoos and shit. I probably look like Andrew Tate at someone's first impression. And so I think a lot of
You
people come at
you
what?
invited me on just to add more hair to the channel. I see
Yeah,
what you're doing.
that's the only reason you're in the coaching group is because Cam has no hair and I have
You're
no hair.
starting to diversify, yeah, and
Yeah, so
appeal
we
to the
have to
audience. Mhm.
we need a strong independent black female now to like really round it out. And then we need some sort of minority. I guess black is a minority, but whatever. Can you say black? Like I don't know what's
Uh,
culturally appropriate.
uh,
I'm not American. Over here we just drop the N bomb. We just say whatever we want. We just call everyone an effing C. I don't know
mhm.
what's appropriate. Can I say the word black?
I think black's okay,
Okay.
uh, and we're not so good here.
We're
Yeah,
doing okay over here. What's
but yeah,
what's you go.
go ahead.
No, no, no. I refuse. You go.
Yeah, I guess for coaching people, it's also like it wouldn't feel good for us to yell at people. So, like, I don't want to do that.
I know.
And
I know. Again, it's like someone asking you for a kink, and you're like, "Look, I just don't think that's
yeah,
good for me. I think that's just going to hurt my self esteem if I scream at you and tell you that
mm,
you're a pussy because you got nervous to talk to a girl."
it's more like, do you want to like talk about that thing inside of you that wants to be yelled at? Like, do we want to go in there and like maybe look at that? Which,
Yeah.
to kind of bring it full circle is I think you and I view BDSM with women in a very similar way. Like, there's kind of two paths in the woods. There's one path where like
Mm.
I don't feel good about myself, so like, you know, let's do BDSM and like fuck me up because I've been bad and I feel bad and like
There's
make
a
me
lot of
feel
people
bad.
like
And there's
that.
like another path where we're like playing a fun game and it's coming from
Mm.
love, and that's definitely the path I go down. And I like check with people because that's very important to me.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the time when I've mentioned BDSM, because I have a lot of BDSM videos on this channel, obviously I even did one with you, right? We talked about BDSM, or did we just talk about threesomes?
Yeah,
Can't
it's
remember.
all in there.
It's all the same thing. Threesome, BDSM, whatever. You say apple, I say apple. It's all the same. But yeah, I have a lot of people that when I first mention it, like maybe girls that I match with on dating apps or
Mhm.
just friends or something at a party and the topic comes up, I think there's a lot of preconceived notions around BDSM and it's a very like narrow view of it, of
Mhm.
like 50 Shades of Grey. She doesn't have a good self-esteem. She's not in a good
Mhm.
place. He definitely isn't either. And then it's two people kind of like almost like butting heads and like he has to
Yeah,
dominate her and
and
she
there's
has to
like
just
this
shut the
huge
fuck up and do what she's told.
power dynamic, and
Yeah.
they're not taking care of it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. And I think the same thing with coaching, man. Like, honestly, definitely with this content, like, one thing that's very much come out to me that I already thought might happen, and I preempted in that video that I did talking about the breakup,
Hmm.
like the breakup with me and Emmy. There is sort of like a social, what's called parasocial relationship. Yeah, that's what it's called. You
I
look
don't know
I thought you knew all
what
the words. I thought you were smarter than me. Um,
what do
so
you
where
have
the
going
audience
on,
sort of,
Andy?
what do I have going on?
Yeah, what is this parasocial relationship?
So with the audience, if you watch a content creator, I've felt this too, you very much feel quite connected to them. And I don't think that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I think along with that, I forgot where I was going with this.
Wait, were
I'm
you
really bad in
going
case you can't
to
tell.
say that they may not know everything about you?
Yeah, which is such a obvious notion to you, to me, to Cam, and people that are on camera. But yeah, you do get a sense that like I know everything about this person. It is a sort of like interesting space to be in.
Yeah. How many people do you get that say like I've watched all of your content and
Like a lot.
I know everything about you? Yeah.
Which is like 0.1% of me.
Right. It's a very thin slice, even
Mm.
for someone like you who has a good deal of their life like online.
Yeah, you just can't put it all online. Like you're not gonna. I forgot the original topic, but let's go. Let's go in this direction. It's like you don't follow me around the grocery store. You don't see the jokes that I make with Imogen. I make a couple of
Mhm.
jokes on camera. You don't see me hanging out with my boys and just having a
Mhm.
chilled time. You don't know what I'm like when I lay on the couch in my pajamas. I have little Sonic the fucking Hedgehog pajamas, lay on that couch, watch a bit of Netflix. You don't know what YouTube videos I watch. I can tell you, but like there's just so many different elements to a human being that
Mhm.
like if you're just seeing a narrow slice of them in a very I try not to make this too controlled, but I am here for self-improvement. Like this isn't a vlog channel. I'm not trying to show you parts of my life. I would like if people said like I want to see this, man, I'd be like, sure, I'll grab the camera and I'll go film it. But like that isn't something I've preemptively thought to really do. I've done it once or twice, but yeah, you're only getting a tiny little sliver of someone. And I find that to be a really interesting psychology thing
Mhm.
because I mean, when we meet someone in a sexual or a friendship way as well, it's the same sort of thing. Like you don't really get much of a slice of that person. You're only getting a tiny little narrow view until you get to know them over a longer period of time. But
So I think
yeah,
you were
we're all living
saying
our own world.
you were preempting something like that people might think when it came to you and Imogen breaking up.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. I had a
What are you,
really
what are you
interesting
all
point, but
judging
whatever.
Andy really hard for?
Probably
Wait, don't write
everything.
that in the comments.
I feel like we could have a field day with that, but
I guess the
yeah, I forgot the
point
original
is
topic.
like it's the same as it's very similar to like when you just meet a new person and you get a very narrow slice of like seeing them, but you kind of your brain kind of starts going and you think you have it all figured out. Um, you did that amazing video talking about your relationship with your father
Mm.
after the silent retreat, and am I remembering this right? He had
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he'd over the course of 10 days, I think that's how long they are, he'd built up this
Yeah.
perception of like the nationalities of all these people who weren't talking and what they were like. And then at the end of 10 days, it's a perfect example of that.
He was wrong about everyone. Yeah. He'd had these preconceived notions and he was just like flat out wrong about everyone.
Mhm.
And I think how many times I've been wrong, maybe to apply it in like a dating sense or a friendship sense. So often you'll match with someone on online dating. This is the best place to really get a good example of this. You'll match with someone on an app and you'll go, oh, she's this type of person, or he must be this type of guy. You meet them on the date, and first of all, you go, wow, you look better than you did in your pictures. You're such a different human being. You're shorter or taller than I imagined you to be. You have a beautiful laugh or a giggle. Your smile is magnetic. Like I didn't get to see that on the pictures because it's hard to smile authentically in a picture. It's
Yeah.
quite difficult unless you're a model or you just take thousands of pictures until you nail one.
Yeah, it's like
And
life
so,
is reverse catfishing you. You're like, wow,
yeah,
never could have imagined. Like, there's so many beautiful intricacies to this person.
I feel like every date is a reverse catfish if we're willing to look for that. Or the opposite. I think a lot of people show up to a date. I used to be one of these people, maybe you did too, that I was very hard on my screening. And I think that's a beautiful thing, knowing what you want. But I often took it to the point where I was so rigid about some of the things that I thought I was looking for in partners, whether casual or serious,
Mhm.
that there were lots of people that I cut things off.
Mhm.
And then a week later, I'd be like, I don't know if that was a deal breaker. Or was that just like something different that I could have explored? Like, so here's the best example. I used to be quite rigid in my view of BDSM since we were talking about that before. BDSM, I thought, me as the man, I have to be the dominant one all the time, no exceptions ever. And if I ever meet a woman who's like got some ideas or preferences that she wants, if that doesn't perfectly fit in with my fantasy for that evening, then I'll say she's not being a good sub. And it's like, well, you're not necessarily, I don't want to judge, but like someone could say you're not being a good Dom if she's like, this is the experience I want to have. And you're just like, no, no. And do what you want. You don't have to do an experience if you don't want to. But as I let go of a lot of that rigidity, that's a tough word to say, rigidity. That's a nice word, rigidity.
Rigidity.
As it's a tough one, isn't it? It's like saying lisp. If you have a lisp, it's impossible. So as I let go of that rigidity, I found I was open to a lot more beautiful experiences, especially
Mm.
some like dominant women that I met or women that wanted to take the lead. Some of my craziest, wildest sexual experiences, it's not something I've done a lot of, but I've met a few women that took the lead and were dominant. And I just was like, what if I don't interrupt her and just let her cook, as the kids say? What if I let this woman cook? She's whipping up a storm. She's like going crazy.
Nice.
She's going to town here. And how much do I sort of at times not enjoy someone interrupting my flow state, especially sexually? Am I just cock blocking her? She's trying to perform some magical freaking blowjob on me, and I'm saying that it's not in the right position, or it's too you're being too dominant. So as I open myself up to more of those sort of experiences of just like letting go and seeing what happens, and I think that was more like a trust thing, trusting that my masculinity would still be intact if she took the lead a little bit, trusting that like that wouldn't mean suddenly you're not a man because a woman took the lead for 5 seconds. That's been beautiful, man. And I think the best experience I ever had was with Imi and our other friend that we saw for 2.5 years ago that we dated, Bronwyn. I guess our girlfriend in our menage a trois. There was one experience where I put on a blindfold, they tied me up, and I just said, you two can do anything you want for the next 3 hours, bro. That was magical. That was like insane. But there was a big part of me that's like, but what if they don't know what to do? What if they have a moment of hesitation? What if they feel awkward? It's like, then they feel awkward, bro. Just let them feel awkward. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like dipped my toe into letting other people lead, and then it was really fun. And I eventually kind of just took the dive and said, I'm a switch now. Like, I can enjoy both, like, even if I'm dominant a lot. But yeah, I had a similar experience where I was having a threesome, and the two girls were like, who's going to get tied up? And they like looked at me to decide. And I was like,
and then you're like,
me.
fuck no, girls. I'm an alpha male. That
I
shit's
was
not
like,
going to fly in this alpha male household.
what will they not see coming? And I was like, okay, I'm getting tied up. And they were like,
No,
what?
no, no, stop. Ready? It's like that's the most alpha move. The most alpha move at all is to be like, you can tie me
Yeah,
up. And she's like,
I
whoa,
kind of
he's
think
such an
that's what I
alpha.
was
And
thinking.
like, no, but like not even as a joke. Like I'm being somewhat serious. This is part of what we do in the coaching program, and this is part of what we're trying to do on this channel as well. Is like,
Mhm.
bro, if you could just admit that you have a fucking vulnerable side and own that shit,
Mhm.
that's masculinity. That's courageous.
Mhm.
And I guess it's not up to me to tell you what is masculinity. That's up to you to figure out. But for me, embracing that side of myself that's a little bit softer, that likes to tell my bros I love them. Fuck, that was hard for me to do. But embracing that side, man, like beautiful shit happens because you start feeling secure in yourself. Like, what bad thing happens if these two girls tie me up? Only good things.
It's counterintuitive, right? That
Mm.
like opening up and showing your softer side sounds from the outside,
Sounds
maybe at the
gay, bro.
beginning.
It sounds so gay.
Yeah, it sounds like the least masculine thing.
But
Do you
it's
want to
not.
talk about how you see that? Is it kind of like taking those things that people might be ashamed of and being proud of them? Is that how it works for you?
Yeah, you know it does because we talked about this in voice messages. We're both really good at like sprinkling in shit that we already know the answer to. We're like really good at handing it, and now I'm interrupting it. But really good segue, Taylor. Well done, very smooth.
Make
Yes,
it smoother.
as I said,
Come on. No, we didn't talk about it as it like relates to masculinity though. So I'm genuinely curious, Mr. Wells, what your take is on
I mean, we
like
kind of did,
the
dude.
masculinity side of that.
Yeah, it's like owning. So I did it with my sex life, and that was a masculine. So for me, like for any of you who don't know, my penis is on the internet. It's very easy to find. It's on my website. I'm not going to tell you which articles, but it's in lots of articles on my website. You could find my
Link in the
penis. You could find my
description.
naked body. Link in
No,
the description.
not
No,
in the
that please
description.
don't link to it. Anyone
Okay.
don't link to it. YouTube will give you, not me, you will get in trouble. You will get a warning on your account. And if you do it too much, you'll get banned. How do I know that? Because one time I did. And so don't link to my website.
Everyone
Don't link
like
to
and
any articles.
subscribe to Andy's penis. All
Yeah,
right.
don't like and
Anyway,
subscribe. Don't like and subscribe to my OnlyFans, which, yes, there is an OnlyFans out there, but it's not really me. It's more like me with girls. But yes, that is out there somewhere. Um, I might delete that at some point. Separate conversation.
Mm.
I was really afraid to have my body out there in any way, shape, or form for the same way that I imagine lots of women are. But for me, it was more as it reflected on me as a man. Like, do I have
Mm.
enough muscle? Am I too
Mm.
fat? Is my penis too small? And funnily enough, I actually had a few people tell me my penis was small when I first started putting it out there. And I was like, huh, that's not that bad. They just tell you your dick is small and you say,
Did you
great, don't fuck it. And then you move on.
did you just say like that was different than how it would be for women?
Did I?
Because like
No, no, no. I'm pretty sure I
what?
said it's basically the same thing as how it would
Oh,
be for
okay,
me and men.
yeah, okay,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's that
like
fear of like being judged. Am I for women? Are my boobs too small? Am I a slut? What will people think? What if my friends find out? What if my family finds out? What if my pussy lips are too big? Like, if you ever want to see the psychology of female insecurity, I mean, it's the same as male insecurity. Go on Reddit. That's actually a very honest place, funnily enough. And go onto the like naked women subreddits where women, like girls gone wild and stuff like that, like where they post themselves. And I think you will be surprised at how insecure some women are, just like lots of men are. It's a human thing over their body. And you'll look at their body and you'll be like, okay, you're lying. Or like, I can't fathom how you think your tits are too small or
yeah.
your pussy lips are too big or
Mm.
your smile is ugly. And you're just looking at her and you're like, I wouldn't change a thing about you. And in her mind, she's like, no, I'm not. I'm not good enough. I'm too small. There's other women with bigger boobs or smaller boobs or bigger nipples or smaller nipples, or this one's one nipple smaller than the other. Like all of the things that we don't even think about. And then you can flip that on yourself and say, what if my biggest
Mhm.
insecurities are things that some woman out there would say, what? I love that you're bald. I love
Yeah,
that you're short. I love that you're this. It can be hard to
yeah.
recognize that because we're so busy labeling these things as bad. Like my body is
You
bad.
you can
But yeah,
see it
that was it for
easily.
me.
Like if you sleep with a lot of attractive women, you'll see it. It's almost universal that they just want to nitpick something, and you're like, well,
About
you like
themselves. Yeah,
what?
yeah,
And that's like that's us.
yeah.
Like it's no different.
And what's
Have
funny is If you say this to most men, they'll go, no, but it is true. I am short. And then it's like, well, that's what the really attractive hot woman says. She's like, it is true. My eyebrows are too small. My breasts are too small. It is
Mhm.
literally a statement of
The
fact
fact.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Even though you think she's crazy.
it's a journey for all of us, isn't it?
Mm.
Can I ask you something naughty, and you can delete it if you want?
As if I'm ever
So
going to delete anything.
yeah,
Go.
you've given the like fun sex idea, like fun sex tip, and it is pretty fun, is like um have a girl get off in front of a mirror, like get herself off in front of a mirror and just see with her own eyes how beautiful she is. Have you ever done that for yourself?
Once. Yes. It took
It's
psychedelics for me to
fucking
feel
hard, isn't
vulnerable.
it?
Well, hey, is that an innuendo? Because I was saying something
Hey,
was hard, but the act itself was quite a challenge, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
yeah.
Bro, yeah. I think, especially as a man, there's all these thoughts that creep in of like, am I jerking off over a man right now? Am I gay? And it's like, uh, one of my best friend, I don't know where this came from because he's one of the most conservative, like, he's not anti gay, but like, he's ultra conservative. We were sitting and talking in this park one time, and some dude walked past and just yelled, "You guys are gay!" Like, and my friend, my ultra conservative friend, I'm still blown away. I told friends that he said this, and they were like, "No, he didn't. He didn't say this." He kind of turns to the guy and he's like, "What would be so bad about being gay?" And I was like, "Did you just say that? That's not coming from you." So the same sort of thing. But I think we have that like insecure masculine part of us that's like, "But what if I do something that's gay?" It's like, then you did something that's gay, bro. It's fine. It doesn't mean you have to fucking suddenly off yourself. If you don't like it, then just don't do it again. Like your whole world doesn't fall down because you did something that you didn't want to do. Just don't do it again. But yes, to answer your question, I have tried one time looking in the mirror at myself while jerking off. I also did the like Patrick Bateman thing from Psycho, where he's like flexing his muscles as he's having sex with some girl. And he's like, look in the mirror. I actually did do that twice when I used to have abs, and I'm going to sound very feminine, which is a beautiful thing. I want to. I felt empowered in my body. Okay.
Mhm.
I felt so
Of
empowered. I was
course you
like,
did.
yeah, look, I do have,
How is it feminine to
bro,
look at your own muscles and feel empowered?
uh, years and years and years of cultural programming that anything involving
Fair.
anything slightly remotely feminine is bad. Women get the same thing. A lot of women get the same thing. I think for men, it comes with a lot more insecurity, but yeah, it's fucking empowering, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's empowering to be like, I look good. I did a good job. Even if I
Mhm.
didn't do a good job, I'm good enough as I am. Yeah. That's that's a wild notion, I think, for most people, let alone most men. I think women understand that. They have lots of books on that, like finding your roots and self-love and stuff like that. It can be a little tougher for a man.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
So I've done it with lots of girls, and it's difficult for them, isn't it? Like oftentimes it can be very difficult. Is that
Yeah, for
been your
them doing it
experience
with
with girls?
themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of women really struggle. So to give full context for everyone listening, like to really paint the picture, set the scene, you would sort of sit behind a woman. She's naked. She's facing a mirror. You're facing the same direction. So you're both facing her in the mirror. You're looking at her in the mirror, both of you. You're naked. She's naked. You're just kind of sitting behind her. You have your arms around her. You're kind of giving her a hug. And you can just sort of caress her body, maybe play with her hair. You can kiss her on the back of the neck or whatever. You're just being very intimate. And you get her either with her fingers or just with a toy, or you can do it. But I think it works better if she does it herself. She basically plays with herself. She can get herself off, or she can explore, or she can cover herself in oil and just caress herself. And you're basically getting her to look either at her own body, or even more powerful, and it can be a bit more confronting, is to look into her own eyes in the mirror as she's doing this. And like, I have found that to be one of the most like life-changing experiences for the women that have been comfortable enough to do that. Tell her first what you're going to do, because for a lot of women, they're like,
Mhm.
I don't want to do this. So tell her first, ask her first. But I've found this to be like a form of counseling or therapy or healing. Like,
Mhm.
just being able to say, maybe I am attractive, like to actually look and say, look at the sexuality that your body is capable of. Look at the pleasure that this body can give you. And even
Mhm.
if you think your boobs are too small or your pussy's not what it should be or whatever, you have too much fat or cellulite or your eyebrows are too small, whatever you might think, your body is capable of giving you some pleasure. That's something to be grateful for. And I, the person sitting behind you, find you incredibly fucking attractive, or we probably wouldn't be doing this intimate experience sexually together. And so, starting to pull away some of the judgments that people have around their bodies, and maybe just sitting with that body and saying, can this body be capable of pleasure? Can it be capable of beauty? Like, can it be a beautiful thing? Yeah, it's freaking life changing. It's very intense though. So if you do this,
Yeah.
be gentle and
Be gentle.
expect the other person might burst into tears. Imogen did the first like 10 times I did this with her. Lots of other girls have like started crying too. And they're like, can we stop? And then you're like, of course we can. We can stop right now. Like it can be a lot, but in a very like, I think healing way.
Yeah, be gentle with it is really good advice. So yeah, it can be this incredible experience, and I've done it with several women, and I thought that it was really hard, but I guess I had some expectation that girls would be able to do it because they're so sexy.
The cute little
And I
naivety of
never
like
ever thought,
basically every, yeah.
yeah, I never thought to turn that around on myself. And I was like, wait.
Most people don't. Yeah, all you guys who are like, women are so hot and they have it easy and life must be on easy mode for them and all of that. It's like, okay, go spend 10 minutes with a woman. Just ask her, what's your life like? What's in your head right now? What's it like to be you? You'll get these answers and you'll go, wow, all the insecurities that you're talking about, they sound like the same insecurities that I have as a man am going through. Wow, that's amazing. And then she'll say, wait, what? You're insecure, but you're a man. You guys are big. You guys are strong. You could fucking beat me up. Like, what are you scared of? And you're like, I'm scared of you. And she'll be like, but I'm small. I'm a tiny little woman. I'm like 4'11". I'm a little midget. All women are little cute midgets. How are you scared of us? And then you're like, we men are nice. What the fuck? Like, we protect you and shit. We go to war and die for you. Like, why are you scared of us? And then you go, oh shit, like I guess I was just believing a bunch of shit in my head. I thought you were different from me. I thought you were the other. I didn't see you as my fellow human being. I saw you as something different from me. This applies to race and any other barriers that we might,
Anything where you're
prop up.
saying the other. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, by talking to each other with some like it takes two people talking to each other with a level of honesty, and by the way, like
Mm.
you going first is how that starts. Like you showing a little courage and being like, to be honest, I think this, like I think that you have it easy, or I used to think
Yeah.
that. Like
Mm.
I thought you were just born so beautiful and life was like handed you on a platter and it was
And
easy.
she will laugh when you say that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So
like you will laugh when then she says back to you, but you're so big and strong. And I thought men
mhm.
just take whatever they want and it's easy. I didn't think you guys had any problems. Like everyone respects you. And you're like, bitch, what world are you living in? That's what did you watch an action hero movie? So yeah, these
Two
conversations
people
help.
talking to each other is how that is like shine some light comes and shines on that.
Yeah, man. What prompted you to start having these conversations with women? Where you'd just like be more authentic or real? Like,
You did.
I did me. I
You
didn't do
and you.
anything.
Yeah. This was like before I'd ever interacted with you personally. This was just like me reading your articles, and my favorite article that you ever wrote is all about honesty. It's called Honesty is an Ideal You Work Towards. But yeah, I mean, you have this unique and beautiful gift that you've given to this whole community, everyone listening, which is showing that like you don't have to play games with each other, boys and
Mm.
girls. You can be honest with each other and it'll all work out, and it'll actually work out way better because you'll feel good. I mean, that is something that you've kind of has been a cornerstone for you, and it's a somewhat unique voice on the internet when it comes to dating, both for men and women. The idea to treat them like they're on the same team, be honest. And yeah, a lot of the advice out there is various tactics to subtly manipulate each other to get what I want. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of letting go in your message, and I appreciate that. Yeah, you helped me with that, particularly that article. When I first
Mm.
read that you could just be honest with women, I was like,
This
I don't
guy's
know about
tripping.
that.
This guy's retarded. This guy must be a virgin who's never talked to any women, because the women
Exactly.
I know will bite your head off and you can't just be honest with them. Yeah.
I was like, we'll think about that, but that's probably not. That's probably not going to work. And then so many people have gone through this. I mean, we've talked to them. They've been, our friends, our coaching clients. Like, they're like, I dipped a toe in that honesty stuff, and it felt kind of good.
Dude. Did I tell? So I did a video. I'm pretty sure I've already done a video, but you know the guy in the group right now who's going out there and just being brutal, like not brutally, but completely honest with women.
Oh
And he's saying, like, can I be honest with you? And then they'll say, yeah, be honest. And he'll be like, I think you have a really hot ass, and I've been staring at it, and I was nervous to come over and tell you that, but like, I think you're so hot. Like, are you single? And basically, every girl that he's done this with is like, oh my God, thank you. I've been going to the gym for like 2 years. So thank you for noticing for the first thing. I've worked my fucking ass off literally to get to this point. Thank you for noticing.
Let's be
Also,
honest.
thank you for being.
This coaching client we're talking about is doing shit that's like insane for you and I. Like, be
Right.
honest. Like,
Okay.
he's doing stuff that's
There are
blowing
some,
my mind.
listen, there are some coaching clients where when they go through the program, you were one of them. In my mind, I'm like, how long do I wait before I'm friends with this guy? Like, how long will it take before we become friends? He's one of those people. You were one of those people. Cam was
Mhm.
like, fucking hell. Actually, Cam and I have an interesting story. We broke up for a little while and then we got back together. We did a video called Cam and I Broke Up. Um, but yeah, there's certain people that come through the program. Ed was one of those people where you're just like, I'm pretty sure this guy and I are going to be drinking a beer, or I don't drink at the moment. So drinking a fucking water together at some point and like talking to some girls or building a business or something. He's one of those people. But he has
Cheers
been
to
so
that.
unbelievably.
You want to
Okay,
have a walk?
here's my little mug,
Where we have
Frosty the
a
Snowman. But
Did you
he's one
see
of
my
those people,
snowman?
man.
Yeah.
Did I see your snowman? No, I didn't. I actually don't know what this is from. I think it's from Elf or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's being
Yeah.
deeply honest, man, as you
He's
know.
doing
And like,
incredible things. He's just going out and saying like exactly what's in his mind, like to a very inspiring degree. And I like how he's just like, how honest do you want me to be with you? That's what he's starting with. He's asking people that. And he
yeah,
said
because he's so scared to just be honest. Yeah.
no one yet has said anything but like totally honest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like, I don't think most people like liars. Like, most people react excessively violently when they realize they've been lied to. Maybe violent in words, violent in action. Maybe they completely cut that person off and say, this person is dead to me. Like, sometimes literal physical violence. We don't like falsehood. We don't like lying.
Hmm.
And then as soon as we say, okay, so just tell her the truth, then you're like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, so what do you think is going to happen when she finds out that you haven't been telling the full truth? Or more to the point, you are barred from ever getting the beautiful, intimate connections and all of the stuff that comes with it if you're not honest. And so you might have a neutral relationship. You can have great sex, you can build a relationship, all of that, but you're not going to hit those beautiful highs of like an actual eye to eye, face to face, deep, vulnerable, intimate conversation where you go, wow, you're really not lying to me right now, aren't you? And they go, yeah, I don't want to lie anymore. What about you? Yeah, I'm done with lying too. Like, what if we just say what we want? And if you don't want the same thing, that's fine. We can just go separate ways. Like, to sit in that space, you realize you're in something quite magical. But if you've never been that deeply honest and vulnerable, which I hadn't with women, you don't know what you're missing out on. You're just like, I'm fine, bro. I can get laid. I don't need to be honest, bro. Oh, and I'm being pretty honest, bro, but I'm not going to be vulnerable like you're saying. I don't need to. I'm fine, man. I get laid with 50 women, 100 women, 200 women. I don't need to be honest. And it's like, you don't have to be honest. I don't know why you'd be watching this channel, but like, when you truly start to be a little bit more vulnerable, basically all of your fucking problems go away. If any of you ever want the case for honesty, Every single fucking problem you ever bring to me would just disappear if you'd be more honest and vulnerable. Like it would all just fuck off and you'd be like, wow, this is easy. Like everything, all the shit that you guys bring, and I love you for bringing it to me. Like all of the stuff you ever say, like, I like this girl. Just be honest. Well, this girl didn't want to meet me and I don't know how much I should text her without being needy. Fucking just be honest. Like just
Yeah.
fucking tell the truth and be
I have
honest.
this thing with my parents and I'm
Yeah.
feeling this way.
That's you. That's you like 2 days
Yeah.
ago. And like
It's me. I'm
5
talking to
other
me.
people. And our coaching client that we're talking about, the guy that's been practicing his honesty, like he was saying there was something he wanted to discuss with his father. He was really worried about his dad having a bad opinion of him. And I was like, bro, why don't you just say to your dad, I'm really worried that if I tell you this, you're going to have a bad opinion of me. So he said that to his dad, and his dad was like, basically, wow, thank you, son. Like, no, I love you. I support you. And you're like, this was way worse in my mind than what actually happened in reality,
And
which is like almost always the case.
and now his dad is like sending him random texts like, just want you to know how much I
That I love
appreciate
you
you
and
and
I
support
support you.
you.
I know, bro. Like, dude, the same thing you get with girls and stuff. Like every time, not every time, because sometimes the other person doesn't know how to handle your honesty. That's fine. They'll just leave. They'll get uncomfortable and they'll leave. But every time someone has stuck around, which is like 99% of the time, the relationship deepens. The sex gets way better. Like if all of you just want to have crazier, passionate sex and you don't care about anything except getting laid and having better sex when you get laid, be more honest and vulnerable. And you go,
Like,
but
if you
isn't a
strictly
casual?
look at it in terms of being pragmatic and efficient,
Yeah,
there you go. You don't have to, like,
yeah,
think about it being on a higher vibration or any of that. Just in terms of just as a matter of practicality, this would be more
bro. Yeah,
efficient.
if you want to be full on psychopathic and sociopathic about it, and I I don't think any of you are being sociopathic, but if you're like, my only metric for success is how many times did my penis enter a vagina or how many dollar numbers are in my bank account. And I'm just going to spend the money on I'm going to set the money on fire and I'm never going to call these girls back again. I only care about the numbers. The best, first of all, I wouldn't encourage that, but the best way to ever do that is to be vulnerable and honest. Like it will happen way quicker. Like it will. People think that like pickup lines, and when we say pickup lines, we mean like not telling the truth, like that kind of pickup line where you're deceiving or you're saying what you want to hear. You're doing all of that kind of tricks and tactics and techniques. People think that
Mhm.
that gets you laid more. No, it doesn't. Take it from the guy who did that for like 2 or 3 years and then switched to deep, insane, radical honesty. And how many coaching clients I've had go from pickup artist lines, getting laid a ton. Like we're talking like fucking 50 women a year, like 100 women a year, just like getting laid too much, taking it to like honesty. And not only do you get laid more, but you have better interactions. You are more deeper and vulnerable and honest and all of that. People stick around more. Like everything gets better. And so we're not encouraging any of you to be psychopathic or sociopathic, but this advice isn't different if you are sociopathic. Like you will literally, and you'll accidentally add to the lives of all the people that you do it with. That'll probably piss you off, but you will accidentally improve people's lives if you're just incredibly honest with everyone. Because then they have the freedom to walk away and go, "Nah, you seem like a little bit of a sociopath. I don't think I want to sleep with you." Beautiful, great. I love that for you. I'm going to go find the woman who doesn't care. And so
Yeah.
honesty helps everyone.
What do we tell the person who's like nervous to take that first leap and just try it out? Try out some
Baby
honesty.
step, bro. So my favorite thing with like when you're scared to be honest is wrap it up in meta honesty. So what I mean by that is say, look, I'm really nervous right now, but I want to start being honest. Or this is what you hear me say all the time. I've probably even said it in this podcast already. I'll say, I can't think of the best way to say this. So I'm just going to say it in a really clumsy way. And then I'll just blurt it out and I'll go, that probably isn't like, or sometimes I'll say something. I have said this in this podcast today. I'll say something and then I'll go, that's not quite the word that I'm trying to say. Like it isn't quite the right meaning there, but like whatever, you get what I'm trying to say roughly. So you just fucking say the thing or you say, I'm scared to do this. And that was the only way I could hit on girls at the start. I would walk up and be like, hey, I know this is like really random, but I thought you were cute and I wanted to say hi. Or, hey,
Mm.
I'm really nervous about this, but I thought you were pretty and I wanted to come talk to you. Are you single? Or sometimes I'll even appeal to the other person's empathy a little bit and I'll be like, please be nice to me because I'm really nervous. here's what I want to say. Or like, please don't judge me, but, and then you say the thing. So that's my tips.
Mm.
What are your tips?
Like
Show us your tips, Taylor.
that sounds like a very good challenge that you
You
could
little
give
fucking
someone.
shit. You little shit. You have been dropping so many hints of like our conversations that no one else is going to know except me until I point them out and say that you're doing it. Fuck it. No, let's say this one because I want to say this one. I think this is cool. So, everyone, in our new coaching program that we're going to build, or we are building, I guess, one thing we want to do is have like weekly challenges. And we will do this in the big $11,000 coaching program as well. But have like a weekly challenge. And so be like, all right, this week you're going to go out and you're going to be vulnerable with 3 people: your family, a partner or sexual relationship, or someone that you're interested in, and then yourself. And then go practice that. That's your challenge. Come back and tell us how that goes. I think these little challenges are what push us, man. Like, I'm excited to build this, by the way.
Yeah, I'm excited to do them, and
Mm.
yeah,
Because
I'm
I think I
excited.
inadvertently. Sorry, you go. You go.
What I was telling you earlier is like I'm excited to do them myself and show people that because I don't know, I'm probably appearing to be like extremely smooth and articulate on this video, but normally I'm not that articulate.
No,
Okay.
neither am I, bro. I've said so many times.
You're
I
very
wish.
articulate.
Yeah, but
Like
not in
you've
real life.
been a talker for a long time at this point, Andy.
Sure, but not always. It's not always like that in real life. Like I've said a million times, I wish some of you could watch me hit on women, or could be there on a date with me.
Yeah.
Because you'd think after this many hundreds of dates that I'd be Captain Smooth. But like, I gave up needing to be that so long ago that it accidentally appears smooth because I don't give a fuck. And so I'll awkwardly just say like, "You're pretty. Can I kiss you?" in the most like awkward, fucking weird way, and you probably think it's smooth, but in my head, it's not smooth. I don't
Mm,
feel smooth. I'm just
mm.
saying the thing. So
And they're just like,
smoothness is
it's so
overrated.
confident. Yeah.
Yep. Or if you say, "Hey, I'm really nervous to admit this, but I'm nervous and I think we're going to have a good date. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous. Like, how do you feel?" She'll go, "Wow, that is insanely confident of you. What the fuck? I was just hiding my nervousness." Like, because I have that with women. I've had lots of women where they will text me before a date or text me before we're about to have our first threesome or something, and they'll be like, "I'm really nervous." And I'll go, "That's really fucking brave of you to admit that. Damn. That's cool. Okay, now we
Mm,
can solve the nervousness together. I can support you. I can tell you it's okay. We can go slow. I now know you're nervous, so I can help you with that." And there are lots of women that will help you guys with your nervousness too. It's just that
mhm.
I think we think that that would be bad. Like I shouldn't be a burden. Something bad will happen if she finds out. It's like, bro, you're nervous. Just tell the truth. Stop lying. You're nervous.
What I was saying, and I basically didn't listen to anything you said because I was too
Thanks. I
busy
appreciate
replaying
that.
this in my head,
I do that too.
is that you, Andy, like at least on your videos and podcasts and whatnot, you appear very articulate. You've had a lot of practice at it. You're charismatic. You're well spoken. If you didn't know,
Thank you. I will. This vessel called Andy will appreciate your compliments.
practice as you, I'm still like not quite as articulate and whatever. Like I like showing people that I can still like have great results and get things that I want, whether it's sex or success in other areas or just happiness and happy relationships while not being like Mr. Smooth, Mr. Articulate. Like I'm very awkward in real life. However awkward I appear on here and not articulate, I'm like 10 times more that in real life. And I still have these beautiful conversations and interactions because being smooth and articulate is just not part of the entry fee to have those intimate conversations. So I like showing that to people. I like being that guy. I like being Mr. Not Smooth.
It's like awkward game, like awkward guy game, autistic game. We're going to call it that.
Mhm.
Like, how many coaching clients have we had that are like literally on the autism spectrum or like literally diagnosed with autism? And every time they're like, "My biggest hurdle is that I don't know how to be smooth." And I'd be like, "Motherfucker, that's your biggest superpower. Because you're
Yeah.
not good at being smooth, we're going to sidestep that. You're not
And
going
by
to
the
waste
way,
time trying to learn it."
I
Yeah.
think some people like when you say autistic or something, they take it as you saying that in some kind of negative connotation, but you're actually
It's always
saying it
funny to me.
you're
Yeah.
saying it in a extremely positive connotation. Like,
Yeah.
I know you pretty well at this point, or well enough to know that.
It's a superpower, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
So when we get someone and they might be even a hint of on the spectrum, it's very exciting because they have something special. Like they have a special gift that will help them.
bro, it's the gift of autistic honesty. It's like,
Mhm.
look, motherfucker, you don't understand how social cues work, which means you don't know how to lie or fake body language, and you don't really
Mhm.
understand when other people lie and fake body language. So we're going to have to cut straight to the actual truth. You are going to say to people, what did you mean by that? I'm not really sure what you meant by that. And then they'll tell you. You're not going to sit there and guess and try and fucking mind read and get it wrong. By the way, even the smoothest, like body language experts, self declared body language experts, don't know what's in someone else's head. And they can take a decent pot shot guess and get it right a lot of the time, but they won't have it right 100% of the time. And we can never quite get to 100% knowing what's in someone's head. Even if you literally ask them, they might not tell you the truth. But I've just found there is an infinitely higher chance they will tell you the truth if you ask in a non judgmental way and just say, like, hey, like, I'm
Yeah.
not really sure what you meant by that. Like, did you mean this? Did you mean that? Like, I'm not great at social cues, so like I'm just trying to figure out, like, did you mean this? Like, what did you mean? And then
It's
most of
that
the time they'll fucking
asking
tell
with
you.
an open mind and a genuine
Yeah.
curiosity. Like people can sense
Yeah.
that your curiosity is genuine.
Yes. Yes. And I have, as I think about it, probably 3 friends that are like straight up diagnosed with autism, and they're like
Mhm.
the easiest people to be friends with, probably because I'm somewhere on the spectrum. I wouldn't be surprised if I was on the spectrum too. But like they get on with people so unbelievably well
Mhm.
because they've figured out, well, fuck this social cue bullshit. I'm just going to say the thing that I'm not supposed to
Mhm.
say, but say it in a polite, nice way. And even if I can't do that, then I'll just say it in a blunt way. And I'll say, and by the way, sometimes I can be a bit intense or I'm a bit autistic. So, like, I don't mean to insult you. And then they'll ask the question. And, bro, like, women love them, guys love them because it's just like, all
Mhm.
right, this person won't bullshit. They won't play the little game of sub communication and all of that. Nothing wrong with that stuff. But, like, they're going to
Mhm.
sidestep around that. I
Yeah,
remember
they
a
get to
while
speed
ago.
run it because they're like, there's a difference between what is being said and what is happening, and they don't match up, and there's a discrepancy, and I can't work that out in my brain. And you're like, everyone else in in society was okay with just saying like, whatever, it just is how it is. But you're the person who's like, no, that isn't okay with me, and that's such a beautiful gift because you get to speed run your way to honesty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Especially in dating, bro. So much of dating arguments and suffering and pain and all of that is like one person trying to mind read the other, especially when it's a man with a woman. I don't really know what it's like for gay or lesbian relationships because I'm not in one. But man and a woman, there are lots of perceived differences, lots of differences too, but lots of perceived differences as well. Stack all of that up, and then you make a bunch of assumptions. You go, men only want one thing, women only want this. Women could never be into sex because they just want a relationship. Men always want sex. Like these sort of funny little cute assumptions that you build up into this like immutable fact in your head, something that's
Mhm.
just always universally true forever. And if you just go through your life doing what a lot of people do, where they're like, whatever, it's just like social norm to just not really ask someone the actual truth. It's a social norm to not really say, hold up, like, what did you mean by that? Like, I just let it fly. I let it go. These assumptions stay in your mind. In fact, they get more and more cemented over time because you will misinterpret things that are said, you'll misinterpret actions that are taken, and you'll just reinforce your own worldview. That's what we all do. Our egos love to say that they're right, and we confirmation bias and build up this narrative of what it
Yeah.
must be like to be a woman, what it must be like to be a man. Women always do this, women are always like that, men are. Anytime someone says, by the way, this is always the truth, like women are always like that, I'd be fucking cautious of that. But we build up these narratives and these stories, and like you said, autism allows you to cut, or you don't have to be autistic, but just radical honesty cuts through all of that. And you say, maybe I'm fucking wrong, can you tell me, am I wrong? And like, bro, the number of times I've just been straight up wrong is like, I feel like I'm wrong more than I'm right. It's like that Socrates or whoever it was quote who says, I know enough to know that I know nothing. At some point, I remember saying to Imogen very clearly, I was like, I just think I don't know anything. And she was like, maybe, honey, I feel like that sometimes too. Like, I think there's just so many things we're wrong about, the assumptions that just don't turn out to be true, or we say something, but we're missing a greater context. So let's just like, of all the things we're going to say that we don't know, maybe the one thing we do know is like, yeah, I don't know fucking anything. I'm just full of shit all the time and I'm always wrong. And just anytime you hear me saying something's true, just fucking add a grain of salt to it, or 10. And like, that's a decent place to live your life from. Like, what if I just shut the fuck up and listen to other people and see what happens? It's hard, though.
Yeah, I had a psychedelic trip like that where I was like, oh shit, I actually know nothing. And Natasha was there with me, and she tried to establish even one thing that I knew. And she would be like, she would just say something, and she'd be like, can you say that you're a man? And I'd be like, well, wow, that could come with like connotations and different
Yeah, yeah,
interpretations.
yeah, yeah. What is man? Define man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I had this conversation with your sister. So for
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
listening, I did like coaching slash therapy with Taylor's
Mhm.
sister. She's on my channel. There's a video. Just search for the word depression. That was one of the things we got to, bro. Like, a big portion of her depression was coming from all of these assumptions that she had clung onto. Assumptions like, I should get out of bed and just stop being depressed. I need to go to the gym. I should get a job. I can't lay around, in my 30s and just do nothing. Like, all of these like truths. And I did a call with another guy recently who was depressed. Same shit. He's like, I know I need to get off my ass and just get a job. And I was like, wow, that sounds fucking painful. And so with your sister, we literally got to this point where we were talking about everything, and she's like, well, there has to be something in the universe that's like definitely true. And I was like, tell me what that is then. And then she's like, well, mathematics. Mathematics is true. And I was like, okay, I want you to Google how many times we've had a mathematical theory or a mathematical fact that just
Mhm.
turned out to be incorrect, or a model of the universe, or like the heliocentric view of the universe, or whatever it's
Mm.
called, where like Earth is at the center, or like any of these things. Like, they killed Galileo for this shit. Like, go and Google any scientific fact from
What's
like 500 years ago.
what's
Yeah.
one puddle plus one puddle?
A bigger puddle, one puddle.
It's 1 plus 1 is 1.
Yeah.
There you
So it's
go.
like, and do you see what I mean? And like, you can say, yeah, but you guys are just fucking around with semantics and being silly.
Mhm.
The fact that we can and it still makes sense tells you that nothing is like completely binary in all cases, with no exceptions ever. And when you first start really thinking about this, for me, it was a trip. I was like, fuck, wait, does that mean the whole world is meaningless and all of that? And it's like, calm down. It's okay. There's freedom in the ideas you're exploring. It means you can be less
Mhm.
attached to the things that you think you know, and be open to just seeing what unfolds. And that can be a scary place to sit in, like it was for me. The first couple of LSD trips I did, I thought my whole world was falling apart. I remember I was sitting there looking at the washing. Like, I had a laundry basket full of like wet clothes to hang up. And I was like, I should go and hang those up. I need to go and hang those up. I'm tripping balls, I know, but I should go and hang them up. And then I was like, but why? And I was like, because I should. They're wet. I should. I have to. What do you mean? You're being lazy. Go hang them up. They need to dry. And then I was like, but why? What bad thing happens if I don't? And I was like, well, they'll get moldy. And then I was like, but why is that a bad thing? Well, because then you'll have to buy new clothes. And it's like, okay, but then I'll just buy new clothes. Like, what if the clothes are better than the current ones I have? Like, why is that a bad thing? Well, because it costs money. Well, then I would just like eat a little bit less for the next 2 weeks and buy the clothes. And then I was like, but then I'll be hungry. Well, then maybe I'll lose weight and that would be nice. Like, and as I explored this, I was like, holy fuck. Like, there are so many ideas that I've clung so tightly onto. Like, when the washing is in the laundry basket, you have to go and hang it up. And it's like, is that true? That's a funny thing to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's seems like that's been a recurring theme of this conversation is like that when you don't just take those stories as fact, you do a little switch flip in your mind where you open yourself to curiosity, to something deeper. Like if you were to do it on a date, I mean, that's the biggest advice I give people when they ask me, like, what do I do on a
Oh,
date? I'm like, let me try and learn about the person that I'm meeting in front of, like, let me try and learn about this person in front of me. That's how I go into a date. It makes it fun. and
And
they're
let me learn about
expecting,
myself in the process too. Yeah.
yeah, and like they're expecting it to be some like, systematized thing you say, and like at 20
Yeah.
minutes in, I, ask if she wants to come back to my place or whatever. It's like, no, I like, it's fun to open your mind and not know, and
Oh, bro.
to be wrong.
Imagine if we could give the audience just a tiny bit of courage, and this is the point of the channel. Give you all of you a tiny bit of courage to just do something when you don't know what's going to happen. Fucking hell, there you
Mm,
go. That's the solution to all of your problems, by the way. Like all of you. Like immediately. Go try something and see what happens. And that's basically teaching you to trust yourself, other people, and the universe all at once. Trusting that you'll be okay, you'll roll with the punches and you'll figure it out, even if it comes with consequences of like emotions and sadness and all of that. You'll trust other people because you'll go, most people are pretty nice. And you'll trust the universe because you go, it's all going to be good. Even if I fucking die, the universe will just keep on going. It's fine. It was here before you. It'll be here after you. It's all
mm.
good. The world doesn't fall apart. So
Whoa, Andy,
this
don't
is
think
all
about
trust.
that too much.
Why? 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 Too scary. Scary to
Yeah, that's
think
a
about a
lot.
time when you're not here.
Wait, you
Mm.
don't know where we came from?
No. I don't know
Oh,
what the fuck we're here for.
oh man.
People give me answers all the time. It's usually it comes from a book or a Bible or something like that. And I'm like, that's cool, but that's just like a bunch of dudes that wrote that. Give me some sort of like deeper answer. I don't know that there is one that would ever satisfy. Call that my ego, but I kind of like not knowing.
Yeah,
I like that we don't know why we're
yeah,
here or where we go after. We'll figure it
me
out.
too. But it's a lot to most of us turn that part of our brain off a lot just so we can get through
Yep.
daily life, right? And not sit there and ponder like, "Oh, fuck, I actually know nothing." But it's nice to be able to tap into that sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So for
That
everyone listening,
childlike
tap into
wonder.
it a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Tiny bit. Just say, I don't know what's going to happen on this day. You don't have to say, like, I'm going on some, existential crisis slash adventure where I admit I don't know anything and I take a lot of LSD and I say, fine, you happy? I don't know anything. I don't know who or what is God, if there even is, or if this is random chat. You don't have to go that far.
But
Just say,
definitely ask her where the universe came from. Like, that's a
bro,
really good pickup line.
you do that on dates, don't you? I know you do something like that.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
my
fun.
favorite question on a date. I'm like, yo, hey, what's up? We'll sit on the date within like 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, so what's the meaning of life?
Mm,
Everyone laughs at that. And it's like, I don't know. And I'm like, come on, like, we'll figure it out. Come on. We got like an hour or two. Like, we'll go and figure this out. Okay. Like, why are we here? What the fuck are you doing? Why did you agree to meet me? Like, we got to figure this shit out, woman. Like, we can't just be here at a random chat. Like, we got to figure this out. You get some good answers. And I think you and I have had this conversation. Kids, like, I've gotten other people to ask their kids. Kids give the best answers to these
mhm,
questions. Like, what is the meaning of life? Sometimes they'll say to die. And you're like, damn, that's deep. Or they'll say to live. And you're like, that's fucking
yeah,
deep. Or they'll just stand around and start dancing. And you're like, that's a pretty good answer to what is the meaning of life. Just be present and enjoy the moment. Damn, man. Just don't think of, just stop fucking stressing about it and just enjoy it. Good answer.
yeah.
Either that or to get as much pussy as possible. It might be that.
Could be. We don't know. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, could you imagine? There's like some dude sitting on a cloud, calls himself God. He's like jerking off. He's like, yeah, these fucking guys are getting laid so much. Like, yeah, look at these guys down there. Oh yeah,
He's got a
oh
mirror.
yeah,
He's got a mirror mounted to one of his clouds.
yeah. He's got like a long telescope lens. He's just like looking down, perving on all of us. Yeah, oh yeah, look at these two going at it. Yeah, damn, yeah, yeah. This feels like a decent place to finish up. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a solid God looking at us having sex with the
Right there.
telescope. Seems like a good
Yeah.
spot.
Leave a comment below, anyone, if you've ever looked up at the clouds and you've seen like a little bit of like just a little glimmer, like you'd see like the reflection off a camera lens or a telescope. Let us know. But yeah, no, I appreciate you, bro. Actually, can I plug my shit? So listen, while we're here, so for the next 22 days, for the next 22 days, I have a big sale on the coaching program. You can save $2,000 and get an extra 4 weeks. That's the $11,000 coaching program. There's links in below description to that. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, brother. I appreciate you helping me build shit and being my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. And goodbye.
Great outro. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? These guys didn't wait. They joined my coaching program and gave themselves the life that they've been dreaming of. Taylor had a threesome, tons of sex, learned to be honest with his intimate partners, and fully embraced a more peaceful, happy, and loving mindset. Laz more than doubled his income from $25K to $45K a month, as well as having more sex than he could handle, all while fully embracing honesty and authenticity. Corky learned to love himself instead of always beating himself up. Oh, and he had a threesome, sex with 7 women, and started his own business. Want to do what they've done? Join our coaching program, and I and the other coaches will pour our heart and soul into giving you the life that you've dreamed of. No more waiting. Now is the right time. Link in the description below.